Last year, I did something that people who have known me for a long time were shocked about, and about which I still receive some conflicted energy. I got baptized and I joined a church. Right when I invited my daughter to the baptism, she said, "Papa, you always said you're not religious." And my response to her was, "Yeah, I did say that. Wait, hold on." I'll explain that in a minute. So today's video is really for you if you are interested in, motivated for unlocking real freedom, connection, and peace bigger than any box, bigger than any religion, because that's what spirit, that's what God is all about. Now, this question, it stuck with me. I'm like, wait a minute, am I religious? Because I got baptized and joined a church? I don't know. I'll tell you what I got to with that. But here's the thing. I discovered some years ago when I was researching my book, The Art of Spiritual Leadership, that the category, when you fill out in whatever census or immigration forms or dating sites, whatever, it's the category is spiritual, not religious, right? That's the most popular category in culture now, at least in the US, right? Interesting thing about that, though, is for a lot of people with that, it's not freedom. It's not freedom. It's reactivity. It's spiritual, but not religious. I'm not real. I'm not. It's a reaction against religion and no judgment. I've had a lot of it in my life. I grew up anti-religion. And here's the thing, anything that we resist persists. Anything that we can't be with won't let us be. Spirit, it's way beyond human traditions. So, what I'm inviting you to is not spiritual, not religious. I'm inviting you a possibility, and just as a fun game, an experiment, an inquiry here into, well, what does it mean if I was spiritual and part of an organization? How could both of those work together? And I get it. There's a lot of good reason that people are traumatized about religion, right? I'm not even going to go into that now. You know, there's so many of them. But here's what happened for me. 30 years ago, today's the anniversary, not today. This year is the anniversary of the time where God, which is not a word I could have even spoke at that point in my life, so traumatized by religion was I, right? God, nonetheless, grabbed me by the hair. There was a lot more on the top of my head at that point, lifted me up, and he said, "Hey, dude, there's a lot more to the world than you've been seeing." And you could call it a spiritual awakening. You could call it going crazy. All of that's true. It was blissful and amazing and wonderful. And I tasted human potential, but it was also really confusing and hard and horrible. I was afraid I was going crazy. I was afraid, like my sister, I was going to end up killing myself. I was going so crazy. And when I came out of that, my feet finally landed on the ground and I realized I need a new way of being. I need to grow, a new model of the world. And I got obsessed with personal and spiritual development. That led me to so many different paths all around the world, from taking Buddhist vows with Thich Nhat Hanh, nonetheless, to becoming a Hindu renunciate, to radical self-development, fast, you name it, all kinds of gurus I've been with. Right? So when I got the invitation last year, two invitations. 2 years ago, I got an invitation like this. I'm sitting in meditation and I hear a voice, not for the first time. This voice said, though, "Come closer to me, my son." So I'm used to hearing inspiration, not in that Christian language, though. That began my inquiry, my curiosity. Eventually, I received an invitation for baptism and joining a church. You know what happened, though? I was scared. What was I scared of? Right? when it came, the baptism part, that didn't scare me. Like, I've had some beautiful rituals, and to me, that's what baptism is about. It's an amazingly deep ritual. Of course, any ritual depends on the energy we infuse into it, the meaning we make out of it. The joining the church part, though, that freaked me right out. Why? Right? Because I was afraid I would be signing on for beliefs that didn't make sense to me, that I didn't agree with. Okay, I can work with that. I was aligned with it because one of my main intentions and missions for my life is love and service. And what I realized, especially in the particular church I joined, supremely devoted to love and service. Like, okay, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for me to grow in my ability to love and serve, including with the members of my church. Now, that's where I got scared. I got freaked out because I thought, one, a lot of the folks in this church have grown up in it, and it's a very specific kind of church and lifestyle and mindset, right? And in some ways, you could say it's kind of a teetotaler mindset, right? Way of being. Me, I had all kinds of experiences, right? From cults and gurus and radical sex therapies to fasting to psychedelics, right? I've done all kinds of things as part of my journey, right? So here's my first thought. They're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm weird. I'm not part of the group. Okay. Go a layer deeper. I'm going to judge them, right? I'm going to say they're square. They don't have any experience. They're narrow-minded, right? These are the fears that came up in me. Then a layer deeper. Well, what's related to those fears, those judgments? Ding. They're all me judging me. That's all that is me judging me. I love one of Byron Katie's great statements. She said, if you want to awaken, marry the person who annoys you most, and then do the work. And she means the work as in the work of Byron Katie, but the work, you could say, is not blaming it on them, not putting it out there, creating freedom on the inside, right? The adaptation of the great Marcus Aurelius quotation, the obstacle is the way. If I get triggered, that's my opportunity, right? If it's my daughter who triggers me, if it's my partner, if it's a housemate, if it's my dog, if it's a friend, if it's a student, if it's a teacher, if I get triggered, that's my opportunity. Now, mind you, I don't always remember that in the instant. Sometimes I think they need to change or they're a problem. Right? And sometimes I realize it's me and I don't want to face it. It takes me a little while. Right? I had one come up last night. I'm like, oh, I could feel my energy going down. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go to sleep. I missed the opportunity in that moment. However, I caught it this morning. I said, oh, what was the trigger? How do I create my freedom from that? So the obstacle is the way. What if we live life as in all the triggers, the judgments, the fears? Those are opportunities for us to get more free. Right? One of the things I say every day, because this is not my old habitual way of being, this is something I'm creating more and more, living more and more, I say, bring it on. In the face of adversity, we rise, transforming fear into anti-fragility. What does that mean? Fear into anti-fragility. Anti-fragility means not just that I'm resilient, not just that I keep going even in the face of challenge. It means that the challenge makes me stronger, makes me better, less fragile. And then what else do I say? I literally roar out loud. I won't give that to you right now, to remind myself when I say, I love pain, challenge, discomfort, and dirt. What am I, a martyr? No, not at all. Do I like to suffer? However, I like pain because it helps me to get free, to grow, to suffer less. All right, are you with me? So what do we do with this to bring it around? Because Again, spirit is bigger than all of the fears, the judgments, the traumas, the reactivity. Spirit is bigger than any religion or organization. However, we don't need to stay stuck in rejecting, right? I'm not going to go there because of what happened when I was a kid. And I'm not saying you should join a church or go to a monastery or be part of the Rotary Club or anything. You do whatever you want. And I do encourage you to have the freedom to find the benefits, to find the challenges, to create the benefits, to create the freedom, right? And here's one of the big challenges that keeps people from healing the religious trauma that they have and getting free. They fail to make this key distinction. Spirit, God, Buddha, Allah, the universe, nature, whatever you call it, infinite, flawless, perfect. Call that human spirit as well, the spirit part of us. Then over here, we've got the human animal. We've got people, you and me, with flaws, make mistakes, human tendency to project our stuff onto others, right? So yes, any organization, any religion, any organization is going to be filled with people, and people, we get triggered, we make mistakes, we project, right? So the religious trauma that any of us might have, it's not from spirit, it's not from God, it's from the people, right? And I'm not saying that makes it instantly disappear. However, it's key understanding. And here's the thing. Either we choose to complain about something or we contribute to it. Don't do both at the same time. I mean, it could start as a complaint. Hey, I don't like that. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it? Okay, here's what I want for you. I want your freedom. Right? So, questions. Your connection with the divine, with spirit, even with organizations or religious groups, because groups, again, are opportunities to grow. Is your connection with all of that, is it vibrant and alive and free, or is there wounding in it, right? Freedom is there for you. So, here's my question. How does this land for you? What is your relationship with spirit, with religion? Let me know. I would love to hear your perspective and give you my response. And with that, thank you for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll catch you on the flip side. Uh-oh, here comes oh no, we got it.